So if you want to speed up your career growth, working with a mentor is a huge deal. Let's go into why. I'm John with Broad Prospecting. Glad you're here today, and let's jump right into it. So, if you're working with a mentor in your career, and a mentor could be anyone from the person above you, senior person in your department, it could be a manager, could be a friend of the family that you know, it could be somebody from a different department that you look up to, who you've worked with off and on. You may not even realize that you treat them as your mentor, but they are because they support you and they give you feedback and advice. We'll go into another video later on as to how you find a mentor and work with them, but here's the value you get out of having one to begin with. So, number one, they're going to give you the skill and career trajectory of what you need to learn to get ahead. Most people don't realize it, but there are probably 8 or 9 skills that they're missing. They don't even know they're missing because they don't know they have them. They don't know they exist. They don't realize people are looking for them. If you have a mentor, you're going to learn those things. They're going to tell you flat out, hey, you're doing really well at XYZ thing over here, but realistically, you need to work on talking to people better because you speak too fast or you use too big of words or you don't focus on what they want. Little things like that they'll point out will get you ahead significantly. It's that growth that would normally take 5 or 6 years of figuring it out on your own. They're going to tell you, hey, work on this tomorrow. And then maybe 2 months from now, you're going to have that skill more or less down. You can move on to the next thing. You'll just speed up your entire growth pattern. Okay, number two thing that's going to happen if you're working with a mentor and they start giving you good feedback and they say, hey, I think you should get involved in this thing over here, whether it's a new project or whether it's a technology that they think you should learn, whatever it's going to be, they're going to give you a broader experience of things because they're going to get you involved in whatever it is that they think is interesting or valuable, or maybe they just open the door and say, hey, here's how you get involved with this at our organization because they know the structure better. They've been around where you haven't. Okay. That's the second thing that's going to happen. The third thing that's going to happen is they're going to give you visibility. Now, there's different ways this happens, but realistically, if someone's working with you day to day and they understand that you have a lot of potential and they see the value in you in the organization, they're going to go to other people and say, hey, I was working with XYZ person the other day, and I think it'd be good if, and I'm John, I think it'd be good if John went and worked with this person on this project. Why? Because he has the background skill set that they're missing, or he could use this over in his department, and this would be a good introduction for him. And they will open those doors for you and give you visibility to other departments that you're not going to get normally. People that would never know your name because you're 2 steps removed from them, whereas your mentor has a wider network of connection within their organization or even outside their organization. And that brings me to the fourth point that you're going to get out of mentorship is they're going to have an external and internal network. Typically, internally, they're going to be connected to, as I said, a wider variety of people, and they're going to be able to say, "Hey, you should go apply for this job," or "This person, is going to be looking for X, Y, Z thing in the future, and you can qualify for it if you are at this level in your career, or if you've learned this skill, or maybe you should look into this thing, so I think you'd be better at it." That'll give you wider berth of network for you to work upon within your organization, or if your mentor is like well connected, and usually typically I would say people that are really successful in their career, even if they're not a manager in a company, they have connections elsewhere because they know successful people and they'll be able to place you or give you leads on where you need to go externally or internally within your organization. So you'll see people say like, "Oh yeah, I know XYZ person at this company through my church group or whatever it might be," and they end up getting a job with that company. Why? Because they had a reference. Okay, there's probably someone that's mentoring them to some degree, or people say, "Oh, it's nepotism." As long as they have the skill, it's not nepotism, but that's a whole different thing. Point being, if your mentor trusts and believes in your ability, they're going to give you connections internally and externally that you're not going to have naturally, and that will help you get ahead. Now, this has been a very what do you get out of it centric discussion, but realistically, it helps them too. Why? Because they need people that are reliable, that they can take with them as they move up the chain or to their organizations or whatever it is to grow their credibility. And one of the things that upper management in most companies looks for is people that can develop other people into leaders within the organization and bring them up a level so they're more productive over time. So not only are you getting all of this from them, and you get a lot of extra opportunity, you get more visibility, you get more projects, you get more birth, you get a wider experience, but you're also getting to grow with that person. And their growth is already proven. Why? Because they're above you on the ladder. Okay, that's all there is to it. You won't have people trying to mentor you if they're the humdrum person in XYZ department, across from you, who just does their job 40 hours a week and leaves, and they have mediocre performance and they've been there for 12 years. They're typically not going to mentor you. Why? Because they don't have the motivation to do it. So you're probably only going to find people who will actively mentor you, who have the ability to assist you, and who will want your assistance potentially in the future. And that's part of that relationship. Like I said, I'll go into why people would mentor you and how you find that mentor in your career later on. But that's kind of the reason why you'd want to get in that relationship to begin with. So think about that one. Video upcoming. And like, share, subscribe. See you later.